Okay. Um, so just a short stream this morning, 15 minutes or so, and I want to talk to you this morning about memorization, memory, things like that. As some of you may know, I'm studying at the moment, and I need to remember large numbers of cases from the exams that I'm sitting, which are closed book law exams. My last exam, I obtained a distinction, and the memory system I've fine-tuned is now pretty good. I'm quite happy with it. It works like this. I've taken a system which is a Victorian system by an author called Sams, which I came across when I was reading some Latin book a few years ago, and it's a refinement of the method of loci. The way it works is this: is that you use a room with a four-sided room. It can be a room with more than four sides, and you start off on the floor, and you divide the floor into a tic-tac-toe, or what English call noughts and crosses game. So there are 9 squares on the floor, and then you start off by putting the items you want to memorize into each square. So in my case, I'm memorizing cases, so I will put the case into the square. Now I'll just use the initials of the case. I'll make a flashcard for each square. I'll also make a flashcard. On the front of the flashcard, I'll put the initials of each word in the case, and on the back of the flashcard, I will put the full name, and then I will use the major system, which you can Google for, and there are websites that do it, to convert the date into a word. So for example, 2015 in the system I'm using becomes honestly, and 1993 becomes tube poem. The words don't need to make particular sense. What's important is that you can make a picture for the word that then sticks in your mind. So it doesn't have to be anything that's rational at all. The picture's just there. And you can simplify it down to some kind of icon type of image, so you can draw it very quickly. Or imagine it. Once you've got it, you can imagine it in your mind's eye. So to memorize, what I do is this: as I run through the wall, as I'm doing the flashcard, I'm also thinking of which square in the wall the case is, and then I am trying to remember what the next case is in the order as well. So from memory, I'm trying to remember each case, so that when I'm finished the memorization process, I know all the cases in order. And so it's very easy then to reconstruct an argument. I learn the cases before I start intensively reading the textbook. What I've found is that knowing the cases is an excellent framework for then just applying the meat and bones of the underlying information. And then it's very, very quick to reconstruct an argument and to write an essay. Invariably, you'll be asked or in an exam to deal with a particular subject area, and the cases are all grouped together naturally in the textbook. Also, when you do this, is that you then see the connections between different cases, and you can sort of link them visually in your mind. The system, Sams's memory system, was also very good for memorizing things that are in numerical order, and it works like this. You have 9 squares. You start off on the floor, divide it into noughts and crosses, tic-tac-toe, so you have your 9 squares on the floor, and then the 10th square you put on the top of a wall, and then that wall then has 9 squares on it. So the 10th square symbolizes the tens, and then everything from there, 1 to 9, is of course got a 10 in front of it, so it's 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, and then the top of the next wall is 20. And then 1 to 9 on that wall is 21 to 29. The next wall, 30 on top of the wall, then 31 to 39, 40, 41 to 49, and 50, you use the ceiling rows. So a 4-cornered room will give you 50 items in order. And of course, all you have to do is locate the particular square that you've put the item into, and you know what number it is. So you'll know that the fourth wall in the middle of that wall is 45, and so on. It's very, very quick. So if you are, for example, memorizing something like the periodic table, this is a very, very convenient way of doing it, because the atomic number will then match the square that you put the item into. You make a little picture, and then to help you remember it, you also make flashcards. But when you are running through the flashcards, you're also applying the information that you are remembering to the memory room. Now, the memory rooms can be actual rooms. You can go through your house or your school or any other house, your friend's house, your mother's house, your grandmother's house, your uncle's house, and you can use all the rooms in those locations. Or you can invent rooms. You can make rooms up. You can start off with one imaginary room, and then you walk into another imaginary room, and so on and so on and so on, creating what's called a memory palace. So this is the system I'm using. So I'll show you one of these flashcards. So the flashcards, for example, here, let's see, it's got here storeroom theory, a third wall of a storeroom. And it's the 10th case on that, the 10th item, 10th square on that wall, and that's the actual the initials. And then on the back you've got the information, and in this case it's the memory word for the date is tub fish, which is 1986, using the major system. So that's the system that I use when I'm memorizing masses of information that I just have to know by heart. You can also use the system for learning vocabulary. It's extremely powerful. If you put the word you want to learn in a square, and then you put words that sound like that word into the square as well, and a little story to help you remember what it means, and you also make a flashcard. And then when you're doing the flashcard, you are remembering the word, its location, and the picture, and you'll find that you'll learn your vocabulary a lot faster. Of course, there's no real necessity with vocabulary learning to learn things in order, unless you're learning, for example, declensions, things like that, where there is a particular order to the words. Then using this system is useful, because then you end up with a chart in your mind's eye. So that's it for this little episode, and I hope that was helpful. Right, bye.